Hello, hello.
Oh, we are live now.
Are we live? Are we live?
From the jungle.
Let's see. I'm going to refresh just to make sure.
Welcome to our house.
If you're there. I don't see anything yet. Just waiting. Let's see. Oh, we are there. Okay, awesome. Hello. Buenos dias. Hey, Henry, what's up? Welcome. Hey. We'll give people a chance to just come in.
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle.
Grab a drink.
How's everyone's morning? What are you drinking this morning? I'm drinking a mushroom elixir. It's got a little tiny bit of coffee, but like a bunch of like mushroom yumminess. Sounds probably gross, but it's delicious.
What's the difference between the two?
What?
If we're looking at our live or what they're seeing.
It's the same, just a little bit different.
Yeah, but this is more live.
You can see here.
What?
This. Hey, espresso with oat milk and honey. That sounds delicious. I've had to cut back on coffee, which I love because it makes me too jittery and anxious, but I'm always jealous when other people are drinking it, and I love the smell and the whole coffee culture.
I look a little bit tired today because I was at a party here in the jungle. Well, we both were.
It was really fun. Lots of good energy and dancing and games, and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. When you're not near a major city with like clubs and bars and nightlife, you have to make your own nightlife. So there's like DJs that live here. Yeah, there was a fire dancer. There was like a bar with cocktails and mocktails and like an amazing potluck. So
there's always potlucks at every party here, and everyone like goes above and beyond to make the best dish. So everything you eat is just like, whoa, so good. It has been a long time, Henry, since we've done a live stream. I think it's been like 6 years or something.
Yeah. Well, we've also had like pretty poor internet in our travels, and here we have fiber optic internet. Fiber optic internet in the jungle.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Good morning, Munir, Donica, Melanie. What is that? I don't know if it's Elsa or Lalsa, but hello from Finland. Awesome. We want to go back there. We're actually going to try to go this year for winter. Okay, I guess we can just get into questions. If you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the chat and we'll answer them. But we also have questions that people have sent us already, so we can start with those. And yeah, anything you guys want to ask, anything goes, feel free to just put them in the chat and we will start. All right. So I think one of the biggest questions since we shared that we were moving here and we bought land is how much did it cost to buy land and to build a home here? So we can share like a breakdown or as much as we can remember right now, I guess, of how much we paid. We paid $130,000 US for the land, which is about a half an acre with the most epic views. We chose this land not actually being here and stepping foot on it beforehand, but we had been to this community ahead of time and had walked around when it was like literally just jungle and not really divided into lots yet. But I remember like when we came at that time, just standing at the top of like one of the higher peaks where we are and just looking out at the mountain. So when we knew that this was available, we just like knew it was the right decision. And yeah, so that's how much we paid for this land. And our build, you want to share that?
Yeah, this whole build, I can even adjust this camera. So look at this. So I can take you on like a little tour here. I'm making a coffee over there, and our kitchen has a lot of clean dishes to be put away. And let me turn you all the way around, and you guys can check out the view.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, that's what we stare at every single day. So this house that we built was first it was about 60,000 to build this structure, and then we probably added another $10,000 enclosing it in windows and glass. So I'd say about 70 grand we spent on this place. Now, granted, now like prices of everything steadily increase, so it'll probably be a little bit more to build something like this, but I mean, for 200 grand we have land in the jungle and a house. That's probably, I think this place is about like 1,600 square feet.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit more.
We have, if you haven't seen a tour of this place, you can get a detailed tour in one of our latest videos. I think it was like maybe a month or so ago. We posted it. But we have our bedrooms in the Airstream. So now that's just 2 bedrooms and Sia's office, where before we had everything in there. We had a washroom, we had a kitchen and everything, but we took all that out. Now we have an outdoor kitchen. We have another bedroom / my office. So if we have our guests over, they stay in my office area. So it's 3 bedrooms, a bathroom, and then we're building a whole courtyard area in the back as well, which we never shared in the video because it's a work in progress. So we'll be sharing that with you guys once it's done.
You guys okay if I make a coffee while we're on this live?
Of course.
Okay.
But this place was meant to be eventually a place that we rent out, and we wanted to build something else because we have so much more land, but we're going to be living in this for like the next, I don't know, few years at least. So eventually we will rent it out. That's the plan. Okay, let's go to the chat and I'll take some questions there. Are you going to build bedrooms eventually and leave the Airstream eventually? Yes. So that, like what I just said, right now this is like perfect for us, and we love it too. It became more than our original idea. The original idea was just to have our Airstream here, build like a roof for it to protect it from the rain and the sun, and rent it out and build another place for us to live in. And then but we were like, oh, but we want to add this and this and this, and it became so much more, and now we love it so much, and I kind of don't even want to leave it. But I think eventually the plan was to rent it out and build something else. So we will do that. And then people will get a chance to come and experience this place by renting out the Airstream. All right, let's see. Did you ship your caravan into Costa Rica, and how much did you have to pay to import it? Yes. So we spent like 5 years living in the Airstream and traveling around North America. And then once we were in Florida, we were there at the end of, was it the end of 2020? I think so, right? Or 2020. At the beginning of 2021. And we decided that's where we were going to ship our Airstream from, because it's like the best port to do it, to get to Costa Rica. So we did it from, it was Tampa, not Miami. There's 2 options. But
it was Tampa.
Tampa. And we shipped it to San Jose, Costa Rica.
Limon.
Limon, Costa Rica.
Limon is on the East Coast.
It's like, what, 3 hours or so from here?
Yeah.
And it cost, this is the crazy part. It was originally supposed to cost $7,000 US.
About that.
But
then world issues arose and wars broke out, so
prices went up.
So oil prices like skyrocketed and ended up being about 11 grand to ship it here.
Yeah. And the process was kind of nerve-wracking because, I mean, we had everything in our Airstream, like all of our belongings. We just brought a few suitcases with us on the airplane, and just like shipping this thing that we've grown so attached to. It's a big part of our life. That's why it's here. And but we had a tracker on it, so we could actually see where it was to a certain point, and then it just kind of like, we didn't know where it was anymore. We're like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah, the tracker syncs with cell towers. So like as it was leaving Florida, I could track it, and then it kind of disappeared for like a few days until it relinked with Central America, so that I could see the boat coming in. The boat came in. We were super excited. And then I checked the next morning and the boat was leaving Costa Rica headed to Panama. And I'm like, what is going on? Did our Airstream just get like stolen? Did it forget to get off the ship? What happened? But I guess they had to like go out into the ocean and do a few circles before waiting their turn to come back in. So it was definitely scary, and it got a little bit damaged too.
Yeah.
Like here at the front, it got a little bit bent.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, right here it got a little bit bent because I actually had to strap the Airstream and lift it onto the boat. So thankfully it wasn't anything major. It's kind of like exterior cosmetic, which we can fix. One of the projects that we have to work on.
Projects, never-ending projects. Yeah, and it took us about a month to get our Airstream. Like it arrived here, I think, within like a week and a half or something, a week. But then we had to wait to get it out. Yeah, but that was it. And then we had it here, which is wild. And getting it up the mountain where we are is a whole other story, which we shared in another video.
That's not easy.
Okay, let's see. What else? How often do you guys go back to Canada to see family? Every year. Every year. We're actually going to be heading there soon. And family comes here to see us, which we encourage. We're like, we can come to see you guys, but you guys can come here and spend time in Costa Rica. So it's a very intriguing offer. So many of them have come and stayed, and we've had many adventures with many family members, which has been so fun.
I mean, we built like a tropical paradise here in Central America. I want people to come.
Yeah.
Hey, Raya.
Raya!
You can see Raya and Louis' bus if you look at the very top corner.
Wait. There we go.
Yeah, that's Raya and Louis' bus. So we're close neighbors.
We're missing you. I wish I could just call you over right now. That's how it was. Okay, so let's go back to the other questions we had. So for the community, do you pay for all the food that you grow, and how much does it cost to move there? Okay, let's start with the first question about buying the food that is grown in our community. So we don't buy the food, but we pay an HOA fee every month, which pays for many different things, including the food that we get each week at the organic garden.
The pool,
the staff. There's people that run the garden, that take care of like all the fruit trees and everything around the community. Yeah,
there's a security guard here in the community, so there's a lot of like staff here, and our HOA fees. It's kind of based on how big your land is. The bigger your land, the more your fees are going to be. So for half an acre, which we have, is about $230 a month that we're paying in HOA fees.
Which is pretty sweet.
Not bad. I mean, if you divide that by week, maybe it's like $70 or something.
That's just for the food too. You go to Whole Foods and you spend, like, for the amount of food that we get, organic, beautiful produce that's picked that morning. Like, it's so fresh and so delicious. Like you're spending probably double at Whole Foods for that. So
could be, yeah. We get a huge basket. We got a massive basket of fresh fruit and vegetables, and it's getting bigger. I notice, each few months something else gets added, something else is now producing. So the baskets are just going to get bigger and bigger.
And there's we have about 5 kilometers. I'm not sure what that is in miles, but
3 miles.
Probably a little bit more. Of fruit trees lining all of the streets here. Fruit trees, medicinal trees, they all kind of play a purpose. So those were planted maybe starting a few years ago. So in a few more years, we're going to have so much more fruit. It's just like everywhere.
Yeah. Like 50% of the fruit we're going to get hasn't even grown yet.
Yeah. All right. Let's go again to the chat. How do you become a citizen of Costa Rica, and what plans do you have for educating your daughter? Okay, let's go to the first part. Citizen? Well,
we're not.
That's a whole other thing. You can become a resident. That's what most people who move here do. They either become a resident or they just leave the country once their visa is up and then come back. You just kind of do like a day of travel and come back.
We're still tourists here. Yeah. So being a tourist in Costa Rica, the government is very lenient and wants tourists to invest here and spend time here. So we were able to start a corporation, buy land, You can open a bank account. You can get a cell phone number here, all while being a tourist.
And now that they changed, so the typical visa that everyone gets, because there's the digital nomad visa, and then there's just the regular visa that you get, the stamp you get when you get to Costa Rica. It used to be 90 days, but now, and this is for Canadians and Americans, I believe probably a lot of Europe. You'd have to definitely check depending where you're coming from. But now they changed it to 180 days. So you can stay here for 6 months and before you have to leave. And you literally can just leave for, the afternoon or a day and go to Nicaragua or Guatemala or Panama and then come back. And then you get another 180 days. So it's pretty sweet. And then there's the digital nomad visa too, which we have a couple of friends who have done it, but because it's new, it's been kind of a weird process. It's not very smooth. And by the time they actually received their visas, they had to renew them already. So it's just kind of a headache.
What is that?
A digital nomad visa allows you to stay here for a year without leaving, which is, I think it's a year.
I thought it was 2.
Is it 2 years?
It might be 2.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
No, a year, and then you can renew it for a year, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Okay. But I mean, or the regular visa, which costs nothing, you just leave once and you come back. All right. Let's go back to. All right. We've already kind of answered that. Out of all the places in the world, how did you choose Costa Rica as your home base? And do you really like it here? It's kind of a funny story. We came here in 2000 for the first time, 2000.
Oh, there's like a random cat. It's not even our cat.
Just climbing. Okay.
There's a lot of that. I mean, that seems like a house cat, but there's a lot of wildlife and crazy animals. I've seen foxes and skunks and toucans and parrots all here, from our kitchen.
I forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, why did we choose Costa Rica?
Partly for that reason.
Yeah, wildlife. Yeah, but when we came here, this is the cool part about this. We came here together in 2009 for the first time, and the moment we both got here separately, we just had this feeling oh, we're gonna live here one day. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I had already traveled to so many countries. I had never had that feeling before. And it just came over me and I hadn't really even explored the place yet. It was the first day and it was just this feeling. And there's more synchronicities that have happened over the years also with Louis and Raya. I don't use the word very often, but we definitely manifested this. And to live here, both of us, in community together in this tropical paradise, and it kind of just all aligned. But there's so much to love about Costa Rica. There's cons as well, like every place, but what I really love about here is the tranquility, the pura vida lifestyle, to go with the flow. It's more calm. The nature, of course, you're surrounded by lush green mountains and jungle and volcanoes and the ocean. You got everything here. So much biodiversity, so many animals.
Yeah. I think it's every country has something that that they do well, right? You go to certain places in the world, like Italy, and they do food so well. You go to other places and they do architecture so well, and that's what they're trying to show off of their country. Costa Rica is its natural environment, is its biodiversity. So Costa Rica has 6% of the entire world biodiversity. So if you took every animal that exists in the world, 6% of all those animals live here in Costa Rica, and it's one of the smallest countries in the world. So it's so densely packed with jungle and with animals, and the government really loves their nature and protects it. Mm-hmm. And that's what we felt when we first moved here. So when we first visited here years ago, so when it came time to picking somewhere to settle down roots, we wanted to be an hour within an airport. We wanted to have fast internet. and we want it to be close to where our food and water comes from.
Yeah.
And this place just kind of ticked all the boxes and more, because it was within a community that also had like a social life built into it.
Yeah, it just Kai's singing in the background. I don't know if you can hear. Yeah, so it all just kind of came together. We could go on and on about why we love it here, but maybe we should save that for a full video. All right. Will you?
Kai, do you want to come say hi?
She has headphones on. She's listening to music.
Okay.
Will you be showing us more areas of Costa Rica in your videos? Yes, absolutely. We've been doing that, but we've been discussing about all the other places and even different communities. There's a lot of different communities in Costa Rica that are doing things a little bit differently, that look a little different in different locations. So we want to cover more of that. We also just want to explore this place kind of from head to toe and like really show you how diverse it is in such a small country, but there's just so much to offer, like Sunset. So,
and you're going on a group trip.
Yes,
in a few weeks.
That's gonna be.
Are there still spots available?
Yeah. So each year we do a group trip with you guys and that we put together. And this year in July, we're doing one in Costa Rica in the blue zone of Nicoya. If you don't know what a blue zone is, there are several around. I should say maybe more than a handful that are defined as blue zones around the world. And one of them is in Costa Rica. And it's a place where people live like over 100, like a, how do I say that? Like a condensed.
It's like a pocket of centurions.
Yes. Which is super cool. And if you haven't seen the Blue Zone documentary on Netflix, I highly encourage it, because you'll get to explore all of them and see how similar they are, as well as like a little bit of differences, but mostly similarities. So we're going to be exploring the one in Costa Rica. We're going to be hanging out with these amazing human beings that are over 100 and get to actually sit down and talk to them. And not just that, but we're going to be doing a 3-night homestay there. So we're going to get to see their day-to-day living and what they do and how they interact with their family and their community, and like, yeah, just what their life is like, and really learn from that. As well as there's a lot of adventure. We're going to be going to the beach. We're going to be going on a catamaran. We're going to be going to hot springs and hiking volcanoes and so much more. So there's a couple of spots left if you want to be spontaneous and join in July 18th to the 28th. It will be with me, and we have a fabulous group already. So if you want to join that, I will drop the link in the chat as well as in the description box later. So come on, it'll be fun. All right. Let's go back to the questions here. Did you join a cult? Yes. Oh. No, that's a funny one. We've gotten that. I know Louis and Raya have also gotten that a few times. It's not cults. No.
I get it.
I get it.
If you say like, I joined a community.
We all live together and share things.
Yeah.
We don't share each other. It's not that kind of community.
No. But I get why people would think that. No, I mean, this community, I guess you can consider kind of like a new design of what like a suburb could be, right? Everyone has their individual land, just like a suburb that you guys have seen, except it's built on a mountain, which is interesting. Everyone's custom building their houses, which is interesting. And we have shared elements. So we share it's like community spaces. Like we have a farm, we have a pool, we have another building that's going to be built that's like a co-working space. And it's funny that people call that a cult. Like there's nothing about it.
I mean, I totally see it, like the way we dance and like all these like
there's seances and like sage burning,
cacao ceremonies, and all those things do happen, but it's definitely not a cult. We didn't drink like a bunch of Kool-Aid and we're like trapped here. We
do drink cacao, yeah.
We do drink cacao though.
And cacao is just chocolate, is raw chocolate, and it has a lot of antioxidants and gives you energy.
And there's no leader, okay?
And puts you under a spell.
The cult has a leader. There's no leader.
Right. There's no leader here. So like everyone who wants to like serve on like the head or the board can volunteer their time to serve on the board, and then they get voted in by everyone else in the community, and then they're responsible for like paying the community's bills and managing certain elements of the community. And then there's other teams that form under that that help with different aspects of the community, but it's really like all the people living here that have to work towards like maintaining this place and keeping it running.
Yeah. I mean, but if this is a cult, like, give me the Kool-Aid because I will love it. Okay, let's go back to the chat. Have you had any close encounters with dangerous animals? Close encounter? Well, I guess in a way.
Whoa, there's like a cool iguana over there.
Where? Oh, yeah, that's our iguana friend. He lives in...
Can I zoom in on him?
I don't know. You can try. He lives in the rock here. He's pretty cool. Can you see it? Oh, he's gone. But he lives in that rock.
No, he's right there.
Oh, you see him?
He's right there.
Yeah. See him? Atlas. Shh. There he is. You guys see him?
Right here. Oh, yeah,
okay, so this guy, he's been here since we've moved, and he lives in the rock, the big rock. We haven't named him yet, though. So, oh, there goes Atlas. There goes the lizard. We haven't named him, so if you have any cool names that you think we should name him, let us know. But other dangerous animals, I mean, we see scorpions. We've had many scorpion encounters here in our house, especially when it wasn't enclosed, because when we moved into our space, and originally we wanted all of this open, we didn't have plans for walls or glass or anything. But then when we moved here, there are factors like wind, wild animals and creepy insects, rain, all of that was like, coming in, and we wanted to be able to block it out. So we created walls and put up the glass. So grateful that we did that. And before that,
no close encounters. We see some
scorpions,
things, but like
that can be dangerous.
Not really. It's kind of like a bee sting. It's like every time I see a bee, I don't call that a close encounter.
I mean,
they're just scarier. Scorpions are just creepier.
They can't kill you, the ones here, unless you're allergic. We've seen a couple of snakes out of all the times that we've been here, and again, we've been coming here for years before we even moved here. We've moved here. We've been living here for what, just over 2 years now. We saw a snake the other day, and it was just like a vine snake. You saw a boa once, but not in our community either. We've seen what other dangerous things?
I saw like one snake on our land before we even moved here.
But you don't even know if it was poisonous, right? Yeah. I mean, they're here. They're definitely here, but they don't want to be near you, and we don't want them to be near us. So
yeah.
Hopefully it stays that way.
But like I said, Costa Rica is a coast-to-coast jungle, like a very dense jungle. So
yeah,
anywhere you are in the country, there's something like within the vicinity, right? There's snakes, there's scorpions, there's tarantulas, there's jaguars and ocelots, right? And there's stuff around, but you barely see that. What you see most is monkeys and incredible insects,
birds,
and parrots,
birds.
And like
we are bird people now.
Yeah,
that's so amazing. The birds. Yeah, you know what? I'm terrified of snakes. I hate snakes. But even like thinking about the word snake gives me goosebumps. I have goosebumps right now. But I thought moving here, I'm like, that's the one thing. Like, it almost makes me not want to move there. Like, I'm almost at that point where I'm like, no, take me back to Canada or somewhere else. But I barely, and hopefully knock on wood, I've seen like 2 out of how many years? 3-4 years of being here. And unless I've been on a hike with a guide who knows where they are, and we're going to look for them. Like, and as soon as I've seen the ones like randomly, they've slithered away so fast. So if you're afraid of snakes, don't really worry about it. You just have to be cautious. Use a flashlight at night. Look where you're stepping, and that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. We talked about the snake situation. What is it like during rainy season? I feel like no one ever really shows what it's like. That would be a great video.
Yeah.
That we can share a little bit now.
I showed a little bit on Instagram yesterday. it's wild. It's like if you've never seen a monsoon,
Yeah.
it's intense. Like it could probably fill an entire swimming pool in like a week.
Yeah, it gets pretty crazy. Like you don't really know how wild it is, and like all the issues you can potentially have, and unless you're in it. So what we have experienced, what we've learned so far, is it usually starts again with the world now. It's kind of like weird, but typically it starts like more like May, June, and then like we get into like September, October. Those are the rainiest months. So it kind of progresses throughout those months a little bit. Here, like every 30 minutes in June, or sorry, not every 30 minutes, for 30 minutes a day in June. And then it eventually goes to like an hour, 2 hours. And then September, October is like maybe half the day of rain. And it's like a lot of rain.
Oh, it's intense.
A lot.
It's super, super intense. In 3 seconds, you would be soaked head to toe, as if you jumped in a pool.
Yeah. So we took that into consideration when building the materials we chose. We originally wanted to do like really organic, natural products, but we decided to go with a lot of cement and steel because of mold. Mold is a thing here that we don't want to deal with. So we're trying to prevent it by using those materials, dehumidifiers. We have really good airflow in here.
So let me show you guys a little bit. So we have one huge roof. It's a 2,000 square foot roof. And all of our overhangs are 2 meters beyond the house. And that's really important. It has to be beyond the house 2 meters, because when the rains come like at an angle, you don't want that angle to, have rain get in your house. So that's important to know. And let me adjust this a little bit. And we have a metal roof. Under the roof is a layer of insulation. And then under that is the caña brava, which you saw, which is kind of like bamboo or sugar cane. And there
we go.
And all of our beams are metal. All of our countertops are concrete. And we did that because we didn't want to deal with mold. We didn't want to deal with termites, right? We don't want our place to start falling apart like soon after we build it because of the weather. And you really have to build according to weather everywhere that you are.
Yeah.
In Canada, it gets like below freezing for months and months. So you need to bury all your pipes. You need to have really thick walls and really thick insulation to protect you from those elements. Here, you need to be protected from humidity, and you do that with like airflow. So the entire back of our house, you can kind of see the wood slats.
Oh yeah, through the Airstream here.
The wood slats there, and there's screens all through there, so that most of our house, I would say 60% of all of our walls are some sort of like a screen. At least like up above is all screen, and then glass.
Yeah.
But there's airflow constantly. So even with all of our doors shut and we're protected, like no one can get in, animals can't get in, insects can't get in, we still feel a breeze.
And we can hear the jungle sounds at night, which is amazing. Like we don't need a sound machine. We are living in one. And so if you are deciding to build here, any like tropical climate that has like, similar seasons as Costa Rica, the airflow in a house is like key. Yeah. And I'm so glad we did that. And a large overhang for the rain. So we have like a 2-meter overhang with our roof, which helps a lot with the rain, like splashing in or not splashing in.
Yeah. None of our windows get wet.
Or our walls too. So.
And that's what I don't see people doing that enough here. Everyone's overhang is too small.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to here. Oh my gosh, there's been so awesome questions. You want to grab one?
Have you driven through the countryside and seen the wind turbines? I've seen them from afar, but I haven't seen them up close.
We were definitely in the countryside recently. Remember when we got like
we took a wrong turn and
it was crazy.
Yeah, it was intense, and the roads were not nice.
It was a 5-hour detour coming back from Tamarindo. It was so crazy. So the thing here, when a road is like, they decide to like, there's a mudslide. We have to block it off for the next couple of months, but we're not going to tell you about it. So we didn't know ahead of time. We looked in Google Maps and Waze that didn't alert us. So we drove for like 3 hours, came to a dead end. We couldn't keep going. We had to turn back like 3 hours, took another wrong turn, ended up in the countryside. And it was crazy. The roads were horrible. There was no one around. Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
Beautiful, though.
Very beautiful. Have we considered moving to another country? Yeah, we actually talked yesterday about like maybe taking like, not moving, but like taking an extended period of time to go and travel the world and see like other communities.
Yeah.
Right? And film some cool content.
For moving, my dream has always been to have a couple places in different countries, and it's always been that comes to mind is like a villa or somewhere like a beautiful little apartment in Italy somewhere. I think would be amazing. My mom's Sicilian, and we've been to Italy and Sicily a couple of times, and it's just and it's in my heart. So I would love to have someplace there. That's the dream. One day. Yeah,
I'm pretty comfortable here in Canada. Like, yeah.
But I do miss Toronto. I miss the city sometimes, but then when I'm in the city for a long time, I really crave being back here and just being in nature. But you miss the things that are easy to get, like ordering Amazon packages,
right?
Or being able to get Uber Eats or go to any restaurant, like at any time, within walking distance. We don't do that here. Yeah.
Someone said, Katie, that we were broken into before, like the Airstream was broken into, and we're gonna get a security system. How has it been? So, oh hey Kai, good duck. No one even saw you. Yeah. So our Airstream was like, it wasn't parked here in our house before. It was literally just on the side of a road here in the community. And yeah, do you need something?
Okay, you keep going. I'll be right back.
It was literally just like parked on the side of the road here, and it looked abandoned for, over a year. And in that time, somebody opened one of our windows, and we had a gas-powered generator on the inside, and they took that generator. They didn't break any windows. They didn't do any damage. It was petty theft. And that's after like a year of it looking like an abandoned container, trailer in the middle of the jungle, kind of. So yeah, it was pretty scary. I mean, Louis and Raya had their bus broken into, and it got ransacked. It got like hit a lot harder than our Airstream. But ever since then, I haven't heard of any problems in the community. That was over a year ago that happened, and I was told by a local that generally does happen kind of everywhere in the world at construction sites. And this is a bit of a construction site as people are building their houses. There's a lot of like crews coming in and out, and ever since then we haven't had any problems.
No.
We do have a security system here, as well as a dog that barks at everything that moves that comes close to us.
And there are security guards too. We're pretty protected.
Yeah, so. And there's security within the community.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's like petty theft. I don't know if you said that, but it's like petty theft when it happens here. So it's not like scary, crazy crimes.
Yeah, no one's hurting people.
At least, yeah. I mean, it's not, yeah. I'm sure it happens just like everywhere else in the world, but it's not the stuff you hear about normally.
Right.
How do you handle mail here? That's a great question. And that was like one of our first questions. How are we going to get packages here? Because we work with brands or just things that we want to get delivered here that we order online. And we found there are shipping companies, and we have one that's about 30 minutes from here. It's like this shipping center where whatever we order or have whatever is shipped to us, it goes to our address that we have in Miami, Florida, and then it gets redirected to the shipping center that's 30 minutes from us. And if it comes by air, it takes about 7 to 10 days. And if it comes by ship, it takes about 3 weeks. And if it comes by air, we pay, I think it's like
we pay by pound.
$6 a pound, I think.
Yeah, that's the issue. Not the issue.
There's no import tax though. It's just you're paying for the weight of it.
Right, or the tax is like included in that fee.
It's like $6 by air per pound and $4 by ship per pound. But it's been super reliable. We've never lost a package. It's pretty fast and really convenient.
Yeah, we've shipped mattresses. We shipped like a solar system, couches. We've shipped a lot of stuff through there, and that's really made it like a lot easier to maintain our business and to also order like certain things that we need, and it's definitely worth it for us.
Yeah, so there's like no overnight packages that you're gonna get. At least I don't know. I don't think so. But if you're a little patient, your package will arrive. It's possible.
Right. You gotta be patient.
Let's see. Let's go back to these questions that were asked ahead of time too. Okay. What do you guys do when there are people you don't really vibe with in the community?
We make them drink the Kool-Aid, obviously.
We ban them immediately. No.
I mean, what do you guys do with when there's someone you don't vibe with on your street or in your building? You act friendly and then you move on. You don't really need to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
But that hasn't happened.
That's what I'm thinking about. Like, honestly, like everybody that is in the community, there's quite a few of us living here now, and some people that like have land but haven't moved here yet. But the people that we've met and the people that live here, like, I really enjoy them all. And everyone is like so unique and different in their own ways, but also we share such similar values of the way we want to live our life that really bonds us all. So I think it's that really allows us to have a good connection pretty much with everyone. Of course, we have our like core group of really good friends, but it's been great. And I love that we see each other and hang out every day. It feels like I'm back in college or high school where you see your friends every day. And then after that, you finish school and you start a job and you have a family and you see your best friend maybe twice a year. Like, I missed that, seeing my best friends every day. And we do that here. It's amazing. That's what I love the most about community. One of the things, because there's many other reasons to love it. But yeah, it's so good. So good. I would never, ever not live in community now. Like, there's no way.
It would be hard.
I couldn't. I wouldn't want to. It's just too good. It's too good. And I think more and more people are going to be shifting to living in community because this is how we used to be. This is how we used to live. And then I don't know, everyone decided to like separate, and now people don't even know who lives next door to them. It's just like, we need to come back to this and like share things and share resources and responsibilities and be there for each other. And it's
like
great.
if you really needed something, or if you were in trouble, or if you got injured, or if you were concerned about something and you sent a message, who would you send that message to? Probably family, friends. I don't know how close they live to you. I feel that living here, there's 100 people within like a 2-minute walk or drive that would be there to support. And we've done that for other people too.
I feel like it happens weekly here. If someone needs something,
right,
whether it's small or big,
and there's
someone's there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the comfort you feel around like your best friends or like close family that's there to support you. That's kind of what I feel here, that at any moment there's all these people around me that are willing to help and close by in case of an emergency or anything. And there's definitely like safety in that and some sort of like calm in that, and that's priceless, right?
It really is amazing. I feel so much about it. Just feels so good. Do people in your community work from home, or do most people have to travel to go to their jobs? Great question. A lot of people are able to work online. And I think after the pandemic, a lot of jobs went online. Like there was that option. So I think that opened up a lot of options for people to be able to move abroad. So yeah, there's a lot of us that work online. There's not really people that go back and forth. There's some people that, I mean, it's not just a bunch of expats also in this community. There's a lot of ticos. There's a lot of like local people. So people that can work here as well. So, or people who start businesses here. So it's kind of like a mix, but mostly online people are working, right?
Check this out. So I just did a speed test. So I could show you guys.
Where'd it go? Do it again.
So I can show you guys the actual like internet speed here. Is it going to focus?
There we go.
So look at that. 286 megs up, and then 286 down, 171 up. And that's really fast. If you don't know like internet speeds, that's super fast. So it really allows people to move here and still be able to work online. Because if the internet sucked, half of these people couldn't really do their jobs properly.
Yeah. All right. Let's do another question here. I love all these questions. They're all so good. Do you plan to plant your own garden outside the community garden? Yes. We've already started to plant a couple of trees. And because it's rainy season now, we are going to plant some more. But so far we have a jackfruit tree. We did have a breadfruit and a mangosteen, but during construction, I think they sadly
got knocked over.
I know, it made me really sad. We have a Suriname cherry tree. So that's what we have so far. Oh, and we have some pineapples that we planted. But I want to do like just in the front of our house, like I want to build like a box garden that has tons of herbs for cooking and salads and more fruit trees.
Right. So like where we built this house is only like a third of our land. 2/3 of our land is untouched and ready for garden or another place that we can build. So there's lots of room for expansion here.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Do you guys plan to visit neighboring countries like El Salvador? Yeah, I mean, we've been to the airport. That doesn't count. But I definitely want to, explore more around this area. It's like, it's cool to be here and have access to that. Like I went to Guatemala. It took me an hour and 15 minutes to fly there, and it was so fun. You went to Panama recently and took an hour to get there.
Yeah.
And cheap. The flights are so cheap. My flight was $60 one way, $60, $70, and I booked last minute.
Right.
Yours was probably around the same.
It was like $80 to go to Panama. So yeah. And I'm even thinking to like send our car to Colombia because you can't drive past Panama. There's a Darien Gap, which is a dense jungle, so you can't drive through it. But you can ship your car to Colombia and drive through South America. Like South America is at our doorstep now.
Yeah.
Like let's continue this road trip. Not with the Airstream. Airstream is not moving.
She's retired. She lives here now forever.
But
that would be so fun. Yeah. I'm down for that. How is the weather? Is it warm all year round? Well, we kind of talked about rainy season already, because there's 2 seasons here. There's rainy season, there's dry season. We're currently in rainy season, and then it goes until the beginning of November, and then November to April's dry. And the weather, Costa Rica has 12 microclimates. So literally in a day, you can be on the beach like sweating balls. Sweating balls. I mean, it's the same.
Yeah.
Right? Sweating a lot, profusely. And then drive like a few hours, and then you're up like in the mountainous areas, and it's like cool enough to put on a jacket. So there's like a variety of climates here all year round.
But on average, I'd say it's like 25 to 35 degrees every single day, all year long. and it depends on what time of year where you're going to get more rain or less rain. That's pretty much it. But every single day is going to be warm or hot.
Yeah. And where we are, it's so interesting how it changes though, like so fast. Like we have friends who are maybe a 5-minute drive from us, and it wasn't raining there yesterday, but it was pouring here. And friends that are a little bit lower, and it's super humid where they are, but it's so fresh where we are. Like there's this beautiful breeze all year round, every single day. And the way that we built our structure, like it's cool in here. It's not hot, but as soon as we go out in the sun, it's pretty hot today.
Yeah.
Let's see. How easy is it to join communities like the one you've joined? Can you share where you can find resources, cool resources? I mean, it wasn't difficult to join. We just we heard about this place. We came here to check it out, and we were able to see the different lots available and the price ranges for them because they varied.
Yeah, not that it's hard to join. There's no sign up process, but you're basically like investing in property. Yeah. That's what you're doing. Yeah. And that property happens to be within a community. You can find cheaper properties that are outside the community, like a cheaper piece of land for sure, but you're not going to get the amenities of the community spaces, right? You're not going to get like the yoga deck or the swimming pool or the basket that you get every week with your fruits and vegetables. And that's the premium that you pay to be in the community.
Right. And I mean, I'm not sure what it's like in all of the communities in the world. I'm sure there's different, not rules, but kind of rules, right? That the people who are part of it make.
Yeah, of course.
As a group, because you have to. There has to be some guidelines. But that's what we want to explore more of. We want to that's part of the content that we want to create more of, is visiting these communities and learning how they work and how they run and what they're like. So we can share that with you guys here on this channel. But we've been to a couple already. There's many in Costa Rica. So if this is something that you're interested in, I would just type in intentional communities. And I recently, they've actually passed through here. There's this tour company that just tours communities, intentional communities around the world. I'm not sure how many countries they're in right now, but I know they do Costa Rica, and I think they're doing some in Europe now, Spain, I think. And yeah, it's a trip, and you're literally every day just going to different communities and learning about them. So you can just Google that. I'll see if I can find the actual link to that website for that tour group, and when I find it, I'll put it in the video description for you guys.
Yeah, there's something to be said about humans living within community, because we did that for thousands of years. We lived in tribes, we lived in communities, we lived together, where we're not like solitary creatures. We're not like bears that could just be by ourselves for years and years and it doesn't affect our mental health. We start getting sad, right? We start getting lonely. We crave being with people. Now, when we're with too many people, like if you're at a concert and it's crammed and there's so many people, we also don't like that. We're not fish that want to be in big schools or birds that want to be in big flocks like that. We like a nice balance. So when you're with the right amount of humans, there's a comfort within that. And we've kind of lost that in society, where everyone has their own little kingdom. Everyone has their own little apartment or their own little house. And you need to have your own tools to fix your own house. You need to manage your own food consumption within that house. You need to cook every single one of your meals within that house and pay all the bills within that house. And it's gotten to the point where we've become totally detached from even someone living 5 meters away from us, where we don't even know their name. We don't even have the courage to go over there and ask them for help if we need help. So the idea of moving into a space where you do know your neighbors, where it's more of a community mentality, even though we have our own house, there's still an element that we can rely on our neighbors, right? And we can be kind of like one unit that can help each other, that can help watch each other's kids and help entertain each other, help like throw parties together as a community. There's something about that is exciting to us as humans, and it's almost something like primal that's like lost. Like I'm kind of interested in that, but like it's scary and it's unknown. And I think that humans are kind of migrating into more of like a community mentality.
Yeah. Misty Rodriguez, we have a question. How do you handle bugs coming into your space? You become friends, become one with the bugs because they're not leaving. They find their way into your house, even if it's closed up. We get visitors from my favorite, stick bugs. Love the stick bugs. Praying mantises, moths, butterflies, ants. The ants here they're wild. They're all different kinds of them, and they find their way in.
The ants clean up your house, actually.
They do. At night,
they'll find every little crumb and
Yeah.
dead insect and just carry them away.
It literally, like, they're night housekeepers. They come in and they just like clean your space, and you wake up and you're like, wow, all right, that was pretty nice. Didn't even have to pay them. We've had scorpions, which I was terrified about, like that, even that idea beforehand, but now it's like, oh, whatever, scorpion. But yeah, you get them. It's just like you kind of get used to it, to be honest, which might sound crazy for some people who hate bugs, but yeah, I don't know, they just become part of life here.
Yeah, I mean, before this whole place was open, we didn't have walls. We moved in without walls, and that, you know, bugs just walk in. This is kind of their home. They live here in the jungle, and we put a house in their path, so they come in. But since we closed it up, it's been way less.
Oh, and there's so many cool beetles. You actually start getting really interested in insects. Well, at least we have, and our daughter loves them. You are not allowed to kill any bugs. She will not accept it. And the mosquitoes, mosquitoes don't usually like me, so maybe you can speak more about this, but I don't really see them. Maybe a little bit more in rainy season, but
I get like a few bites every night from a mosquito.
Night.
Yeah, not while I'm sleeping, like not in the Airstream, but yeah, I find that I get bit by mosquitoes. It's not terrible. It's not like swarms of mosquitoes.
How would you compare it to Canada?
Canada is so bad. Canada's bad. Like you go to northern Canada and you'll see like a cloud of mosquitoes.
It's not like that here.
No.
I think some people get that idea that it's worse here. So I wanted that comparison. So
right.
Not as bad. Not as bad.
Hey, look at this. I want to show the lizard again. He's like sunbathing on a rock.
Dun, 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 dun. What are we naming him, guys? Still need a name.
Name the lizard.
Larry. Okay. I don't know how long we've been doing this for. Almost an hour. Maybe. Okay. So maybe we should answer a couple more questions and that will be it for this one. But this has been so fun and we need to do more. If you guys think we should do more lives, let us know. Okay, let's go. Is it not possible to have a similar lifestyle in Canada, living in some countryside rural areas? I mean, yeah.
Not with winter.
It wouldn't be exactly the same. I guess it depends what we're talking about. Because originally we were looking at Vancouver Island as well.
Yeah.
Right? When we were deciding where we wanted to live in community.
There's communities all over the world. It just depends on your own interests, right? Like what is it that you want out of community? And one of our main things is we wanted to escape the cold. We were sick of the cold. It makes you like miserable and you're stuck indoors. And
some people like it. Some people love the cold. Maybe you are a skier or a snowboarder, and that's awesome. We love it for 2 weeks and then we're over it. So, and we wanted to be able to grow anything, and you can do that here in Costa Rica. So yeah, there's differences, a lot of differences, and also probably similarities you can find. But out of all the needs and wants that we wanted for our lives, this place here like nailed it for us. So yeah. Okay. Should we do one more?
Yeah. And if you guys want like more updated real-time info of like the community space and what we're up to, you can follow us on Instagram, and we share like stuff on our stories all the time on everyday life here.
If you're not following us already.
Larry's looking at us.
Is that his name now? We're doing that? We're sticking with it?
Seems like it.
There's our Instagram. Bum, bum, bum. I think, is it going to work? Oh, what am I doing? There you go. I just put that in the chat for you guys. Yeah, and we're going to be making more videos. If you guys have specific ideas of what you want to see more of, let us know too, because we want to make those for you. Okay, let's go back here. Choosing one last question. Which one do you want to choose? See, I'll let you do it. We can talk about compost. We can talk about languages. Learning the language. We talked about animals and critters already, so
a lot of animal and critter questions.
There's a lot of, yeah. Those were my questions too before coming here. I was like, I'm gonna see a snake every day because I'm not down for that.
Do you how about knowing the language?
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Español.
Sí.
Podemos hablar en español. Sí, pero do you need to be able to speak Spanish? We didn't always speak Spanish. We learned from traveling. And now that we have been here for over 2 years, we've definitely improved our Spanish.
Sí.
I think it is important to not know the language when you come here, but it's important to learn the language because you're coming, like, you should know the language of the place you're living in to be able to communicate with the locals. It's a form of respect. It's how you integrate yourself into the community, into the country, into the culture. So I think everybody should be putting in effort learning the language of the place they're going to and living in.
Yeah. Es muy importante hablar el idioma que en el país que tú vives. Por ejemplo, si tú vives en Canadá o Estados Unidos, necesita aprender inglés porque la gente ahí hablan inglés. So basically, I'm saying that it's important of whatever country you're living in to learn that language. So if you're moving to the U.S. and you don't speak English, then you need to learn because that's the language of that place, right? So here, I think it's really important to be able to communicate with the locals, and it opens up. It really opens up like the spectrum of being able to communicate here, of interacting with locals here. So you'll have more fun if you can speak the language.
Guy's asking for candy. Anyways, yeah, and like if that seems intimidating to you, it is when you're learning anything new. But the best way I can say is to learn the language is to immerse yourself and into the local culture, become friends with locals. A lot of the times I've seen expats really just stay with other foreigners and speak English, and they don't really try to, I shouldn't say often, this does happen. They don't try to learn the language and really become part of the culture there. And you're never going to learn the language that way if you don't make friends with the locals. That's the best way to learn. And it's okay if you only know a couple words here and there. And the more you try to communicate with each other, the more words you'll learn and you'll get better and better at it. So, yeah, I love Spanish. It's such a beautiful language.
Your Spanish is great. Thanks, Melanie.
Gracias. All right. I think Henry said you speak well too. I think that's probably it. We've just reached over an hour, and this was so much fun. I can't believe we haven't done this in like 6 years. We have to do it again. I hope you guys also enjoyed it, and we answered some of your questions. If you have any more, drop it in the comment section, not in the chat, because we won't see this, I don't think, after this ends, so that we can answer them in upcoming videos.
Yeah, that's really important. It's like we use these videos to create the next one. So like any question that we didn't have time to answer, put it in that chat or put it in the comments.
And if any of you want to join the trip in July here in Costa Rica to discover the Blue Zone with me, I left the link. I'll put it again in the video description, and I would love to have you join us. There's a couple spots left, and I'm offering the last and next and last couple of people an extra spa experience that's not part of the itinerary. It'll be my treat, and I just can't wait to travel with you. It's so much fun. We have the best trips. We do. Maybe biased, but I've been also told by many that our trips are the best. So hope to see you there. And yeah, we'll see you in our next video.
Bye. That was fun.
Enjoy your Sunday or Monday, wherever you are.